Hello, this is going to be the next video tutorial on doing this detail drawing here on the concrete unit pavers. In the last video we did the line work and hatching for this drawing here, and so for this video we're going to do this line work and hatching for this drawing on the left. So what I'm going to do is copy this drawing and then just paste it over here, and then we're going to then add on this rest of the hatching, the concrete block, and this other material here. So I'll go back to AutoCAD and we can do this in the same exact drawing that we are already in. We'll just keep it simple, keep it in here, and I'm going to select all of this. And really, I think I'm just going to select this top because I'll probably eventually want to redo the hatching. I'm actually just going to select from here to here. So I'm not getting in this second line either, so I'm going to type CO, enter for copy, and I'll just click here, and then make sure that they're vertical and pretty close to each other, and then click enter. And then what we want to do from here, they only have 5 concrete pavers, so we'll just trim out the other 2. So we'll move this, select that this line here and type N, enter, and then yeah, we'll move it from here and then trim out those 2. So click enter, and then select this line and type TR, enter. We're going to trim out the rest of the hatching and the line work. Yeah, one thing to take note of is that you have to have your mouse on the line work for the hatch. Like, I can't have it here or here to have it trim. So that's why I have to zoom in, and just as a reminder, I'm zooming in by scrolling up. And click enter, and then I'll just delete this one here. Oops. And since all the hatches are connected as one, I'll need to do a trim for that hatch as well. Okay, so now that I have just these 5, the next step that we're going to do is build out this long rectangle here. So it's 1 foot long, and it appears to be, 4 by 12 inch precast concrete edging. So we're going to draw another rectangle that's 4 inches by 12. So we'll click on this rectangle tool here, and we want it to start right here, and then we're going to tell it dimensions, and we want it to be the horizontal distance to be 4 inches, so type 4, enter, and then 12, enter. And once again, it'll let you click, and we want it to be on this side here. So now that we have, we have that there, we're going to now draw this one here. And there's a few different ways that we can do this. What I'm going to do is just draw it out using polyline. You'll notice it's nothing too rounded or anything. It's all just a series of polylines, it looks like. And we know that we want it to go out by 4 inches on this side and on this side here, and I'm assuming on this side as well. So what I'm going to do is just create some guides for that. So I'm going to take the polyline tool and turn on my snaps for nearest, and then I'm going to just draw one line that's 4 inches here, click enter, and then repeat that process here, 4, enter, and then enter again. And then one thing I've noticed is, oh no, never mind, these are the same length. So yeah, I'll type that one last time. So polyline, and then from here I'll tell it 4 inches, enter. And then I'm going to turn nearest off because sometimes it bothers me to have it on this. And then from there I'm going to do the same thing, and it's really just a matter of studying. I'm going to just make this small It's a matter of just studying where this starts and ends. So notice that it starts about in the middle of where the sand is. It goes out 4 inches and then down 4 inches and then out what appears to be another 4 inches, and then it has a diagonal line in this upper quarter of the stone or the asphalt over here. So just it might take some time to experiment with what looks best, but we're oh, I'm turning Mirrors back on again. Sorry, I turned it off too soon. I'm just going to really, it's just getting it as close to this shape as possible. We don't need it to be anything too exact, and I'm also going to turn my ortho snaps off for this. So just click on that where it's blue, it means it's on, and then just click it off for now. So I'm zooming in by scrolling up, and just keep clicking. Oops. I probably don't want it to go out farther than that 4 inches, so that'll probably be the farthest point. It looks like that's about what they have here. But it's okay if it goes out a little bit farther too. It's not too precise. Yeah, so just use the polyline tool and just keep clicking to give it sort of a ragged edge to it, nothing too precise. And then I'm just snapping it. This may be a little bit too far out. Snapping it to these lines that I drew just as guides, and I'll eventually get rid of those. And then I believe it's just a diagonal line from there. Yeah. Oops. So maybe about here. And then I'll just select these 3 lines. And something that's nice about AutoCAD is you don't have to click Shift to select more than one thing. So I'm just selecting all of those and deleting them. And then what I'm also going to do is just click on, you can click on these joints and adjust them. Like, let's say I think that this one's going a little too far out, and I can pull it in a little bit, and so forth. But for now, this looks okay for me. And so from here, what I'm going to do is trim out this stone hatch from under this concrete block. So just select this line that we're trimming by and type TR, enter, and we're going to click on this hatch and this line here. And then click enter. So now we have this, and our next step will be to just create these 2 spaces, closed spaces, to fill in with hatches. So they don't give a specific length for how wide or tall this needs to be, but just take note it's a few inches above the bottom of this where this line starts, and then it's a zigzag line from there. So what I'm going to do is, and then it looks to be about the same length as this here, just a little bit shorter, so there's no particular width that it needs to be. So I'm going to click on Polyline, click here, and then I'm going to turn ortho back on to 9180. And then just click enter when you're done, and then select this line here, type CO, enter. We're just going to copy it. So that's right here. And then click enter again. And then next, all we have to do is create just 2 more lines. So we're going to draw this arc that's going to go in here, and then we're going to draw this line here to fill it with a hatch. So once again, we'll do this with the polyline tool, and notice that this starts, yeah, sorry, I talked about this earlier, but it starts just a little bit above where this beam ends, but nothing too exact. It doesn't look like we need to follow a particular measurement. So I'm just going to take the polyline tool and get it to be there like that. And just try to get it as similar to these as you can. Just use your time to try and make it look as close, nothing too irregular or too straight looking. Just make it so that we can tell that there's an irregularity here, but nothing too. Don't worry about getting it too crazy or too exact to this. That'll be okay. And then finally, we'll just create an arc, and we'll end up deleting this line, so no worries about what layer it's on. And I'm just going to snap it to here, actually. Okay, so here's that, and then we're just going to fill it up with hatches, and I'm going to just double check that I'm using the right line weights for everything. Yeah. Okay, so then for our hatching, we're going to fill this with that same solid light gray hatch and then a dark triangle hatch. So we'll get the hardest part out of the way. I'll select the light hatch first, click on this hash button, and scroll. You can also scroll here. You don't have to click on the arrow. That's something I forget. So we'll just click inside here and then enter. So now that's going to be light gray, and then I'll select the dark hatch and scroll down until I get to concrete and tell it I want it to be at 0.075, enter, and click in here. Just make sure it's at the same scale as you did for this one, just so it looks consistent. And then the next hatch that we want to do is with a black hatch, we want this, with the cyan hatch, we want to do this same concrete. So I'm going to just create a new layer. So I'll click on Layer Properties, and this panel will come up. Oops. Sorry. There it goes. And I'm going to say L dash dark thick hatch. And I'm going to change this one to be green. Or actually, sorry, it'll be a thicker black hatch. So it'll be similar to this red color that we're using, but it'll be an even darker hatch. And this will probably, notice how these triangles here for the concrete hatch are a thicker line weight than these stones here. So that's what this is doing by creating this new layer. So I'll click on this thick black hatch and then tell it I want the concrete pattern as well in here. And I want this to be just slightly bigger, so I'm going to say, let's say I'll say 0.1 and see how that looks. And that's still a little bit too small, so maybe 0.2. And I'll try 0.3. So once again, it's just sort of guessing around, seeing what looks best. I'm going to click enter when I get it to the size that I want. And then just two more hatches, it looks like, that we need to fill in. So there's these dots here, and then the earth here. So I'm just going to click on this hatch and double check I have it at size 9. So I'll want to hatch this to be that same fill there. So click enter and then click on the hatch button, earth, and then click here. And then enter. And one thing I forgot to do was put this on the right layer. So you're just going to select it. Anytime you want to change the layer of an object, you select it. And I can just click on home and then change its layer to be that light hatch. And then one last hatch that we have is these dots, and it looks like they're on the red layer. I'll just double check. Yeah, the red. So I'll click on hatch. And here's the dots right next to the earth. And that looks good. And I forgot to change the layer of that one too. So just click, make sure it's on, or sorry, the dark hatch, the black hatch layer. So then click enter. And that's that. And I'll just delete this line here. You don't need it anymore. And then that's the line work for these two. In the next video, we're going to go over how to then add in the annotation and the notes in the title block, and then go ahead and plot it. So thanks for watching the second video, and I'll see you in the next one for our annotation.